While the Chevrolet Bolt EV is enjoying healthy sales in the US, thanks in part to the increased availability of the affordable long-range EV over the past few months, things couldn't be any more different in Europe, where the Bolt EV's European sibling, the Opel Ampera E, is becoming rarer than unicorn poo. Over the past few months, I've heard more and more stories from people desperate to get their hands on an Ampera E, some of whom have even put down deposits on the American-made CUV. But while Europe seems to be the ideal place for the Ampera E to find a home, the Tesla Model 3 isn't going to be available there for some time, and Europeans do love their hatchbacks, the Ampera E is proving harder and harder to buy. Back in May, I even filmed a short video on this channel asking what on earth was going on with the Ampera E after Opel Norway told the more than 4,000 Norwegian customers who'd signed up to buy an Ampera E back in September last year that only a few hundred Ampera E's would arrive in Europe this year in total. Then, a few weeks back, Opel put a stop order on all new Ampera E sales because the backlog for orders was supposedly just too large, and Opel wasn't getting enough cars shipped to it from the US in order to satisfy demand. While that kind of practice is rare, it's not unheard of for automakers to ask dealerships to stop submitting orders if a car is in high demand. To be completely frank, I'd rather automakers do that than the alternative, make customers wait for months or even years for a car, sometimes even taking money from customers' finance packages before a car arrived, as a couple of friends experienced in the past with the highly popular Fiat 500 in the UK. That said, it's still not ideal and should serve as a signal to the automaker in question that they need to make more of the car they're experiencing massive demand for. After all, if the car is that heavily in demand, surely it's going to make the automaker more money than if it wasn't. Yet on Monday morning, more disturbing news came from Norway about the Ampera E's European rollout. A massive price hike that's raised the sticker price of the entry-level rebadged Bolt EV to 349,900 kroner, a 45,000 Norwegian kroner price hike on the previous pricing, and an even larger price hike of 60,000 kroner since its launch. That's the equivalent of a 6,350 euro price increase in less than a year of being on sale, or if you prefer, a $7,372 price hike, or for your math heads, a price increase of nearly 20%. And that would be the equivalent of the Bolt EV costing $44,867 in the US, which, come to think of it, won't be far off the entry-level price if the US government passes proposed GOP tax legislation designed to get rid of the US federal tax incentive for electric cars. But I digress. The fact here is that the Bolt Ampera E, is gone from a car that was reasonably affordable to one that's significantly more expensive than even the entry-level Model 3 is expected to be. Granted, the Ampera E may have more range out of the box than the Model 3 entry-level standard battery pack, but still, I think you get my point. So what's going on? Well, according to Opel, the price increase is something it has no control of. Instead, it alleges that the price hike has come as a consequence of GM selling the Opel brand to Peugeot Citroën. And in an unusually candid moment, PR manager of Opel Norway, Stein Pettersen, told Norwegian website Dinside that the price was simply the result of GM selling Opel to PSA. Of course, it would be very easy at this point to blame GM completely, but there are some other market forces at play that I should note, namely the dropping value of the US dollar against the euro for the first 9 months of the year. Recently, the euro has started to gain ground again, but in the grand scheme of things, it usually takes companies a little while to react to changing prices, because the things they're selling are often already produced a month or two before sale, especially when talking about cars which need to be shipped to their final destination. Indeed, even Tesla has put its prices up this year for European customers for the same market reason. But that doesn't explain the full price hike, and for that, I can't help but think GM isn't interested in helping keep up the alimony payments for the Ampera E now that Opel is officially divorced from GM. Sadly, you can take that either of two ways. Either the Bolt EV is selling so well in the US, it is, that GM doesn't need to worry about European customers of a brand it no longer owns, or more sinisterly, GM is trying to purposely ensure the Ampera E is stillborn. Whichever way you cut it, however, it's not a nice feeling. And I'm afraid, having been the victim of GM pulling support from Europe for the first generation Chevrolet Volt, that I'm going to have to advise you to choose a different EV if you're in Europe and you're looking to buy an Ampera E. It's a great car with plenty of range and power, and I absolutely love mine. But if you're gonna have that much trouble getting one, you'd probably be better off with the alternative, a Nissan Leaf, a Renault Zoe 40, or a Tesla Model S. Sorry. That's it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, hit the notification bell to hear the moment a new show is uploaded, and don't forget to click the Patreon link at the end of this video or in the description below if you want to help me make more of these videos. Until next time, keep evolving!